Johnnie, I don't know how you do that. January 12th, 2019. Yesterday morning, I called my brother-in-law, Don Sinclair, to wish him a happy birthday. During these conversations, I get to find out what Don and my sister Louise have been doing. They live a full and exciting life and are highly respected in their community. Eventually, the conversation turns the other way, and Louise asks me what I've been doing. So I respond that I've been helping people who are going through tough times. I pick a couple of specific instances. I tell them how I received a private message the other day asking if I do grief counseling. Well, not really, but I wanted to know if the person was local and what their name was. She replied that it was here because she had just found out it was her ex who had taken his own life. My reply immediately was, I can leave right now and be there in an hour. Other activities in her home meant this was not a good time, but we would meet the next day at 2. While I was in town waiting for our appointed meeting, she messaged and asked to postpone as she hadn't slept. No problem. Just let me know when you want to chat. That evening, shortly after 9, she messaged asking questions about suicide and what happens to the spirit of the loved one. We chatted for about 45 minutes. I listened carefully and reinforced every positive statement she made. At the end of that time, she was no longer blaming herself and was feeling fairly good, considering the circumstances. We have had follow-up chats, and I'm available if she has any further questions or concerns. I also told Don and Louise that I would be meeting with a young lady, early 40s, who had recently been diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer. She had posted on Facebook about her diagnosis, asking for help. Several of my friends recommended that she chat with me. I was supposed to meet with her on Thursday afternoon, but the big snowstorm hit, and I felt I had to get home before the highways became too difficult for driving. I dropped off a care package and informed the family that I had to get home, but would stay in touch and come back when convenient to my friend. This morning I sent her a message saying I was available at her convenience, and this afternoon she replied and said she'd be available after 2:30 when her home care nurse would be stopping in. I arrived shortly after 4, introduced myself, and we started chatting. We each shared our backgrounds a bit and then chatted specifically about her short journey with cancer. She hadn't been feeling well and went to see the doctor. A CT scan revealed a large growth on her liver, stomach, and bowel area. Immediate surgery. No time to even notify her husband. A section of bowel was removed and as much of the growth as possible. There was much more to her story, but suffice to say, she was in medical distress. Several interventions were scheduled, and she was able to come home just before Christmas. Now she is fighting the biggest fight of her life. She had lost over 70 pounds in a short time, and with the help of a wonderful support group, has now gained back 7 of those pounds. Remarkable, but not surprising with the support her friends and family are giving her. We discuss her treatment options and how she feels about each. I encourage her to stay in charge of her own health. She is the one who knows her body best and should be able to select a treatment which she feels right for her. We have a good chuckle as we discuss what she can do to get her own way. Chuckles and giggles are good for mental health, so we do that when we can. I share good news stories which I'm familiar with, in which people have beaten cancer, and not always with the chosen 3 of radiation, chemo, or surgery. These stories pick up her spirits. She is smiling more and her cheeks are becoming a bit flushed. A wonderful sign. Before I know it, an hour and a half has melted away, and I tell her that I must leave so as not to exhaust her energy. We complete our visit with a big hug and a prayer, along with happy tears. My friends, if you have ever had the opportunity to visit with someone who is critically ill, I can give you one piece of advice. Tell good stories. That is what these people need. If you aren't comfortable talking, no sweat. Just go and listen. Showing that you care is huge. So, Louise, you may not understand how I can visit with people who are facing huge personal issues, but I do it because I know it makes a difference, and that is the only thing that matters.